listen, we have a very special guest today in the house. He just flew in for the Jaxxon podcast. We got my boy over here, the human blue chew, Rampage Jaxxon. And today is a very special day because we have one of the greatest athletes in the UFC currently who just put on a phenomenal war. Rampage, I'm going to let you do the honors.
Man, you do the honors.
Rampage, I'm going to let you do the honors.
Hey, you know what? I'm not falling for this anymore because when I start announcing a guest, he cuts me off and he goes ahead and do it. Go ahead, man.
I'm going to let you do it.
You guys can tag team it.
Man.
All right.
Listen, we got the killer gorilla in the house, boys. Ladies and gentlemen, put the round of applause. Come on.
I'm not falling for that no more.
You see what it is?
Hey, why they call you the killer gorilla? You be killing gorillas?
No, I'm not I don't kill gorillas, but I'm a gorilla that's a killer at the same time. So I just put those two together. I didn't put them together. I actually want to, you know how it goes. Tradition is when your teammates pick your name. So one of my first teammates, Joe Murphy, picked that name for me.
I hope Joe Murphy, a black dude calling you?
No, Joe Murphy's not a black dude.
What is he then?
Joe Murphy's a Caucasian, I believe, right?
A Caucasian calling you a killer gorilla?
Well, I was looking for a name with gorilla in it.
Oh, okay. So, all right.
He helped me out. Yeah, so he helped me out. He said, "Why don't you go with Killer Gorilla?" So,
okay.
Yeah.
It's
no, he didn't just call me a gorilla. Ain't nobody out there just calling me gorillas or anything like that. But
that was upsetting you, huh? Before the podcast, you asked me that. You're like, "Where the?" name? That's the third time you've said, where the name come from?
Hey, don't believe nothing he said. No, because my brother Congo, his fight animal is a gorilla, but you know. He's Czech Congo and he's from Congo, but I call him me Congo, the good gorilla. Y'all don't know nothing about that movie, huh? You know that?
I remember Congo, yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Where they had all the white gorillas and stuff going crazy.
Yeah, hey, Congo, that was the first movie they used FaceTime. Y'all remember that? He's too young. He don't know nothing about that.
Was it the first one to use FaceTime?
Yeah, they was FaceTiming on the laptop.
Oh, shit, that sure was, yeah. They even had laser guns in there, man.
Those movies before its time.
Would you have pagers growing up?
Yeah, I had a pager.
The Boost Mobile, burp, burp, chirp, chirp?
No,
that was further in.
Yeah.
Later on?
Yeah, that was later.
You had them as a sponsor.
I had a Motorola.
You had them as a sponsor.
Yeah. He don't know nothing about the Motorolas and all that.
I had the chirp, chirp. Chirp, chirp.
I'm talking about the pagers back in the day.
Nah, I wasn't born in the 70s, brother. 60s. I don't know where you were born. How old are you right now?
I'm 40 right now.
You look incredible. Me and Rampage were talking about your fight, cardio, heart, everything you have. I mean, something obviously is going great with you at training. You put on a war. What has been going on in your training lately that you're still this phenomenal in age and fighting at the same time?
Well, just showing up, consistent training. I love doing this. This is fun for me. So it's easy for me to continue to go and do it more consistently. If I had more time, I'd do more of it. But, I got a family as well and other responsibilities. But that's about it, man. The lab has a really good program. The only reason why I moved to Phoenix from Alaska was to hit up the lab.
Damn,
so,
you from Alaska?
I'm not from Alaska, but I had lived up there for 8 years before I moved.
What part of Alaska?
Anchorage.
Oh, okay. I've been there.
Yeah, Anchorage is nice. I think you came up there to one of the AFC events they had up there.
Did I?
Yeah, and I was fighting up there. And I didn't fight on the card that you came up there, but I remember they would bring in UFC vets, and I think they brought you up there one time.
Yeah, I've been there a few times. I know I was mostly going for Monster Energy to go see the troops.
Yeah.
I would go to the base.
Yeah, they would do a collaboration with the troops and stuff. So
yeah,
I remember being up there and I'm like, damn, Rampage is here.
Oh yeah, it was cool. I liked it. I went to a strip club there. It was nice.
Yeah,
it was good.
They took you to the Bush Company, huh?
Yeah, how you know?
Because that's the strip club up there.
Oh, that's the only one?
I guess it's the best one up there. But
yeah.
I ain't never hit any of them up.
Yeah, it lived up to his names. I saw some bushes.
Oh, you did?
Oh, yeah.
You love strip clubs.
With pine cones.
I'm a guy. What's wrong with like a strip club?
No, I'm just wondering. You do love strip clubs.
I like to see women twerk.
But you also love going to the clubs where you drink tea and you give them money for that too, right? So it's like a daytime strip club and nighttime strip club.
Well, it can be a strip club in day, but I don't like that. I'm in the daytime. I don't want no girl twerking or nothing around me.
You want guys doing it?
Oh, damn.
Damn.
No, I don't know. I don't know what you meant by that. What do you mean by that? Or you just want to chill? You mean you want to chill because you work hard?
What's wrong with
I don't know. I just wondering.
What's wrong with the guy? Hey, I got another question about Alaska.
Yeah.
Have you ever petted a moose?
Hell no.
I wanted to pet I saw a baby moose. I wanted to pet it so bad.
Man, moose will stump your ass in the ground, dude. I don't mess with the mooses. The meese. The moose.
You're going to go pet a moose.
I wanted to pet a moose so bad.
You see a real life moose, you're going to go pet a moose.
Not a big one.
A small moose.
Those moose, they giant.
Yeah. Well, you're petting the small one is how you get stumped out by the big ones.
Well, I didn't see no big ones.
I've never seen a big one.
I've seen some big ones. Bro, I didn't see any males, but we've seen big ass females.
Bro, they twice the size as a horse.
Yeah.
Why
A moose?
Yeah.
You want to go pet a moose that looks like a rhinoceros, and what's wrong with you?
I love animals, but but I was wondering. They got me to thinking. Why you think they never tame moose? Why people don't ride moose like horse?
Shit, man, I don't know. Moose or
have you ever met a moose?
Do you think he's Crocodile Dundee or something with the hat? Is that why you asking him all the animal questions?
Look at him.
He thinks you like are an animalist.
That's what I thought because he got the head on.
Got it. I could see where you were going with that. I could understand that because you keep looking at the hat when you ask the questions about animals.
It's the hat.
I mean, the hat is one thing, but I'm from Dallas, man. I'm from the city. We don't do animals.
Oh
though.
yeah. Okay.
You were born in Dallas.
Yeah, I'm from Dallas, Texas. Yeah.
Oh damn.
Did you grow up on a ranch though?
No, hell no.
So you don't got
I grew up in the city, man. I'm from the city, Oak Cliff. You know what I mean? I grew up there, and yeah, man.
And you
so
don't
we
fuck
don't
with
do with animals.
Oh, you don't fuck with animals.
No, I don't fuck with animals.
So you wasn't interested in the moose.
The only thing, no, hell no.
He's looking at you.
I mean,
crazy
I
when you
watched
brought
it
that
from
up.
a distance. You know what I mean?
You didn't try to feed the moose?
Mm-mm.
I wanted to feed it.
Not no wild moose. No, I'd probably go to the zoo and try. But
how long you was in Alaska for?
I was in there for 8 years.
Oh wow.
That's why I started my MMA career up there. Yeah.
Why? What made you go to Alaska to start MMA?
Work for the FAA. After I got out the Army, I got a job up there and moved up there. And as soon as I got up there, I looked for a gym to start training because I really wanted to just train. I wasn't trying to be the killer gorilla UFC fighter that I am today. So that's just what training turned into for me. And it became a hustle. I can make money off of it. I can provide for my family. I don't have to go work a real job, 9 to 5. You know what I mean? I get to wake up and have fun and make myself better and be with my family and come on nice ass podcasts like this and meet cool people like you guys. So shit, I'm blessed.
Yeah, I love
Come
that.
a long way, yeah.
One thing we love about the careers of certain MMA fighters is guys that can go up and down in weight and still be, phenomenal at their game on the feet, on the ground. You fought at heavyweight, light heavyweight, middleweight. What is your favorite weight to fight at in the UFC?
Definitely middleweight. Yeah, I would say middleweight because I feel for myself personally, I'm just more capable at this weight class. Mm-hmm. I guess me being at middleweight is just a part of my journey. The knowledge that I've learned, the experience that I've acquired being in this sport, you know what I mean? Just transformed who I am.
A lot of fighters, when they talk about going up and down in weight, they always talk about their coaches, their diet, the gym, the camp they have around them. How hard is it for you to cut weight right now at your age? Because we know as people get older, obviously, coaches are always telling them to go up in weight. How hard is it for you to get ready for fights?
It's not hard. It's not really a big part of my camps, you know what I mean? Unless I take a short notice fight, like this last fight was pretty short notice. And it was more oriented around making the weight. But I didn't have to do anything too dramatic, you know what I mean? I have yet to have a hard weight cut outside of being sick during the weight cut. That's the only time I've ever had difficulties during the weight cut. But other than that, it's pretty easy, man.
You're pretty strict on your diet and stuff?
No, shit. I eat what we eat at home. You know what I mean? My wife is my dietitian, so I eat what we eat. And but it's not bad. They've been with me on this journey as well. So my wife has learned what I can and can't eat on a regular basis, and we all just eat what we have to.
I've never been disciplined, so I always had my kids around when I was fighting, so I would have to leave for training camp because the kids they eat every goddamn thing.
They eat everything. And on top of it, I think I've made throughout this whole process, I've turned myself off of a lot of different foods, especially today since a lot of this shit is just poison anyway.
Oh my God, you're so right about that.
You're one of 2 fighters to have a knockout victory in 3 different weight classes. There's obviously something about your power. We see your movement in the last fight's phenomenal. You don't stop. You don't turn off. I know you train at the lab in Arizona. Can you talk to me about the training? What goes into the training? Where does the power come from?
Yeah. Well, I would say a lot of it is genetics. Comes from inherited from I have a family full of athletes. A cousin who was in the NFL. My brothers and cousins play football throughout their early years, high school, and I think a lot of it's genetics, as well as the program that we have at the lab, the training that I get there, the knowledge that I've acquired from my coaches, my strength and conditioning coaches, my physical therapist as well, applying this shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
but it seems like you put it all together. Rampage was talking to me in the last fight, and he loved the fact that, you know, the way you were able to attack, figure it out, come back. Like, the heart's incredible, but even Coach Prilla said multiple times on a podcast, like, you can't teach heart. So you obviously have something that's very special that's helped you get this far. Is there something about your training camp specifically? I know you train with Robert Emerson. Is there something about that specifically that's helped you be so successful?
As far as heart, like you said, you know, Rampage, you know, you can't really train that into somebody. You can't teach them how to have heart. That's something you got to have within yourself. You know what I mean? So I guess it's easy for me. Like I said, this is fun. It's a dangerous sport. I understand the dangers of it. I'm not, you know, stupid. I consider myself an intelligent male. So when I apply my mental capacities to this thing, I feel like I can excel at it, which is why I'm doing what I am now. Thank you. Which is where I am now. You know, when I first started, I wasn't trying to be a UFC fighter. I just love to train. Yeah. So and then it became a hustle, and now it's become a career. So
what martial art did you start off with? Did you start off with one, or you started doing multiple?
Well, my first hands-on experience was modern army combatives when I was in the Army. And then when I got out, I joined a jiu-jitsu gym. Oh, so it was just jiu-jitsu at first. And then got into some striking. They also had that AFC, Alaska Fighting Championship promotion up there in Anchorage. So I said, I'll just give it a try. Make some money on the side, have some fun, test myself, and go from there. Go as far as I can.
Did you meet your wife in Alaska, or she back from Dallas as well?
I met her when I was in the Army.
Yeah. She was in the Army too?
No, her aunt was in the Army, but she was staying with her aunt.
And her aunt hooked you up with her?
No, it was actually, I met her through a mutual friend of ours who was in the Army. So
Rampage is trying to figure out how to pick up chicks. So he wants details.
Hey, I got lucky. You know what I mean? I didn't pick her up no conventional. I didn't go and holler at her or anything like that. You know what I mean? We were just our mutual friend. I was at the barracks grilling, and our mutual friend brought her there because she didn't want to be with her aunt at the time. So she came to the where we were convening, and I was grilling, and we were playing dominoes or cards or some shit. And I met her through there. And you know, it went from there. I'm not finna just
That's good enough. We don't need the details. He's looking at us like, how deep you want us to go? I'm like, no, you good.
No, we don't got to go into detail.
But you in love.
Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with the guy being in love.
No, I think that Rampage is still looking for love.
I mean, I'm not gonna say that it's some fairy tale thing. You know what I mean? I met a good woman. You know what I mean? Who I can trust in.
Nice.
Who I can confide in. Who could help build me into a better man. Who could, you know what I mean?
Take notes. Take notes. He ain't meeting strippers. He meeting nice people who care about him, who love him for him.
I don't date strippers no more.
No, but you give them all your money?
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
No, $1 at a time.
Yeah, see what I'm saying? He needs this in his life. He needs a good friend.
No doves, no fives?
No, hell no.
You need something like this.
What?
You need better standards for the women you chase. I like the way he operates.
When I turn 40, then I look for something like that as well.
Turn 40. Aren't you like 55, 60?
Wow.
How old are you?
Wow.
Wait, how old are you? Wow. You're not 40?
No, I'm not 40.
Oh, I didn't know that. My bad. Oh. Wait, how old are you?
Mentally, I'm like 15.
Yeah, we know that. Hello. Listen, there's something to everybody's camp and everybody's team that makes them excited to get up in the morning and train. Rampage, you said this multiple times. Getting the belt, that was easy for you, but the training was hard and you didn't really enjoy it. You didn't have a passion for it, but you always loved what you did, right? Do you love the training aspect of what you do at the lab with Emerson, with these guys? Like, seems like you're in a unique camp and a unique situation over there.
Yeah. I mean, that's it. That's the reason why I do this. You know, a lot of people ask me, especially now, especially at this point in my career, everybody's been asking me, how do I feel about the title? How I feel about the title? You know, I feel more fondly of my training than I do about the title. Not that I don't want to get to the title, because I understand what comes with that. To me, that's not something that I focus on. I don't spend too much time focusing on that. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I want to. I don't want to sit here just wanting. You know, that make me feel like a kid again. When my mom told me I couldn't have a video game, and I wanted that video game so damn bad. And that leads to a host of other negative thoughts and actions, reactions, emotions, shit like that. So, For me, my focus has always been about the training, you know, how it's going to affect me, increasing my stats at every turn, trying to do the best I can to be the best that I can.
Seems like you're able to compartmentalize your thoughts, your emotions, the way you look at fighting, the way you look at training, the way you look at your family. Very, very kind of analytical with the way you talk and speak. Where did this inspiration, where did this kind of balance come from? You're very grounded.
I'm very introvert. I think a lot to myself. I process things internally. I internalize a lot of things. And throughout my journey of my 40-year journey, I've learned that I have control of what I can internalize. And at the point I am now, I've learned that I don't want to internalize too much negativity. I want to internalize positivity, success. I want to internalize the best that I can in this reality, you know what I mean? Without compromising who I feel like I am, you know what I mean? And I think before, and through that internalization, I found out who I am. You know what I mean? I've gotten more familiar with myself, gotten to know myself a lot better. So it just makes me comfortable in my skin, and for me, I can put myself in any situation I feel like I can thrive, I can be successful in, which is why I joined the Army when I was 21? 22. They shipped me out on my 22nd birthday, which is why I joined the Army, even though everybody was telling me that's the wrong thing, even though the culture I come from tells me that that's the wrong thing to do. I did it anyway. And for me, I tell myself that it takes courage to do things that nobody really, you know, everybody's telling you not to do, but it's the unknown that most people are talking about. So, yeah, I did it anyway, and it's been good and bad to it. You know what I mean? My severance from the Army wasn't necessarily on mutual terms. You know, they kicked me out for smoking some weed.
What?
Yeah, just for smoking weed.
That's the same thing my dad got kicked out for.
For real?
Wow.
When I've sat and seen people, you know, do
that's crazy.
That's
crazy. Way worse things.
But why you smoking weed and then, you know, they give you like drug tests?
Well, I come back from deployment and I go on leave and I want to celebrate that shit. You know, when you think of a deployment, you think you finna be in the shit, what they say in the movies, right? You finna, but you are in harm's way. And I came back without having any traumatic moments. Even though I was out there.
You was in the war?
Active combat?
I was out. I deployed in 2007.
Oh.
And I think the war started when 2002. I think it was towards the tail end of things. Mm-hmm. But it was Bush's second term is when I joined. Mm. So we were still over there.
Yeah.
We was fresh over there.
Yeah.
And but yeah, I made it back safe and sound. So I went home and I celebrated the way we do at home. You know what I mean? I drank some drink, I smoked some weed. And when I got back, they tested us and I popped out. Yeah.
But then, why you didn't pull the Clinton and say, I didn't inhale?
Because you can't, because it's in my blood, it's in my pee. If it's in your pee, you know what I mean?
You could have said, like, I was a contact high. Yeah. You got to lie. Like, man, it was a contact. I didn't inhale anything. Nothing.
Yeah, ain't no point.
You just owned up to it.
Yeah.
At least he owned up
to it. The problem was, the issue was there were other people there who were doing it. Oh. One was in a position of knowing when this stuff was happening. He was higher ranked than me. I'll just leave it like that. And they did a whole investigation. And even though I wasn't a part of their group, we all got kicked out. So
him as well, that guy too?
I believe so. I don't know what happened to anybody else.
How old were you at this point?
I got kicked out. I was 23, 24. Yep.
What was going through your head when that happened?
It was a very hard time because me and my wife at that time, 2 days before we had gotten out, before they had kicked us out, before we had to leave, that's when we found out we was pregnant with our first daughter. So it was real traumatic. It was real hard for us at that time. But luckily we had each other. We could lean on each other. And she helped me. She actually helped me get that job in Alaska. It was her who pulled a lot of that effort out of me and did a whole lot of the work and got a lot of that stuff as far as the wheels going, as far as me going through the hiring process and getting up there with the FA, because I really didn't want to do what I was doing in the Army. Mm-hmm. But you know, we got to do what we got to do.
Yeah,
So.
everything happens for a
I
reason.
mean, we have nothing but respect for our first responders and military men, and without them, we wouldn't be able to sit here and do what we do without guys like you who are willing to, you know, go and join and protect our freedom. And that's what a lot of people who've never traveled the world don't realize. They can complain all they want, but we live in the land of the free.
Yeah.
So a lot of people at home should be a little bit more respectful and less worried about what bathroom they can go in.
You're absolutely right about. I'm sorry. I just wanted to say this.
Go ahead.
And I was talking to my brother the other day. He was talking about how a lot of people because he's still back at home, and how a lot of people he sees still back at home still doing the same thing. And he says that he sees me as a beacon, as a blessing to see that how I got out and left, and he's really happy to see that I left and how I've grown in doing that.
Amen.
So
and that one thing before we start getting into some crazy MMA talk, a lot of people don't understand. People that serve our country, cannabis sometimes is the only thing they can resort to because they don't want to resort to popping pills or they don't want to resort to drinking, and they want some sort of outlet because they do deal with really traumatic, serious injuries or serious events that our normal society will never have to experience.
Right.
If that's what they need to do, it's time that the military and our federal government kind of get together a little bit and try to figure out other ways to help them so they don't come back and they can kind of get back into society in a normal way. So that's a whole nother topic, but
I know that's why
we're upside down.
I was thinking because like weed is legal in a lot of states, right?
Yeah.
But still the military ain't fucking with it.
Yeah, well, this was
I know.
2008.
Yeah,
so
but now
before.
But now you don't know if people.
I don't know how it's going right now, but I don't think so. You know, because in any high level, any what's the word? Important job, you can't be doing drugs and smoking weed, showing up and drunk and shit like that.
But is it true that when you sign on to the military, you like government property? Or you don't remember? That's what I heard. It's a rumor I heard.
No, I mean, I'm not signing a paper saying, yes, I am government property, but I mean.
It's probably in there.
It probably is, but
what's
you're
your
going to get me going down some rabbit holes.
Yeah, that's a whole nother, that's like a very unique discussion
question.
because the term, no, it's a great question, Rampage. I'm not even messing around with you. It's a great question because a lot of people do feel that way, but it's a very unique way of how you're going to position that conversation because it could go both ways, real crazy, real fast.
But it's a contractual thing.
Great question, though.
The same thing with the UFC contract, though, right?
No, give me some love. Great question. Don't be upset.
No, because he'd be trolling, bro.
No, because what he was trying to tell you politely is that's a long conversation if he wanted to answer that one. I got you. I'm trying to help. He Blue Chew guy. He's been out all night. You know what I mean? He's been rocking and rolling. Things are different for him. He's still living the single life. He doesn't understand what it's like to be locked down with.
Oh, so you married?
No, but
so
I understand.
Why are you trying to single me out for being single?
Well, you're in the streets all night.
No,
he's got his El Camino running around the city like Denzel and Training Day.
El Camino?
What do you got? That long black car that you drive? What's that called?
It's a Lincoln.
Same thing, right?
No, it's nothing like an El Camino.
Not even the same?
Not even the same.
Are you sure?
I'm 100%.
Old school?
Old school, 6'9", with the suicide doors.
Oh, with suicide doors.
Jesus.
Oh, yeah.
Sound like a Lil Wayne song the way you just roll that off the tongue. What?
Let's move on.
All right, let's get back to
South.
business.
I know you from the South,
Yeah,
so
I'm
I
from
know.
Memphis. Yeah, you know,
respect
He
that.
understands that. He respects your game. Americanized game. You guys are combat experts. You guys know how to fight with your hands. I know. I'm a fan, brother. So I'm just here to watch this happen.
You don't train, Bear?
I do. I put the hands on.
But he sucked though.
I'm just starting. I just started.
You just started?
Yeah, Robert, your coach, Robert Emerson, used to beat me up when I was like young.
Yeah.
And so then I always was like, I shouldn't be a fighter. I'm not that good.
Yeah.
You know,
He's not
broken
that good.
teeth, broken
Honestly,
jaw.
when I do rounds with Rob, he puts his hands on me too.
Rob, let me show the camera real quick. Come over here so we can show the camera. This guy's like, what are you, 5'5", 120 wet? What are you? Wait, put the drink down and then just come over here, brother. Hey guys, this is Robert Emerson. This is the trainer, one of the head coaches at the lab. And you can see, judging based off his height, I'm shaped like a Build-A-Bear. So I just want to show them, give them perspective. Of
Hey, knock
really
him out,
pads.
Rob. Knock him out.
No, Rob's a legend.
Right now.
What are you, like 5?
He's making fun
I
of
was
you,
trying
bro.
to get him to spar after this, and I told him, I won't punch, you can just punch. I'm
Here,
just
right
gonna
here.
kick.
Rob, I do want to ask you in all seriousness, talk to me a little bit about training with this guy and how big of an athlete he is, because we can't stop hearing that from everybody, that he's one of the best athletes you've ever trained with.
Yeah, I tell Jared all the time he should write a book like this is the new 40 or something like that. It's incredible what he's doing. Look at his roster. Look at the guys that the UFC has made him fight. It's everybody. I mean, he has the gnarliest fucking Yeah, Glover, fucking Dominic Reyes, Anderson Silva, Jack Hermanson, Robert Whitaker, Gaslam, Brunson, Izzy, Strickland, Vittori. He fought the literal division. He's the only guy to ever do that. You know what I mean? And have like crazy fight of the night performances. When he fought Whitaker, he broke his arm the first round, the first 30 seconds. Yeah, the first minute of the first round. So he fought 24 minutes with a broken arm against Robert Whitaker and in a fight of the night performance. You know what I mean? Not too many people can do that. And then this last fight, he fucking broke his arm again. The second round, third round? Third round, but he fought rounds 4 and 5 with a performance like that. I mean, it's incredible. Yo,
Before Coach Perillo leaves, Coach Perillo, come in here real quick. So this is just a really weird situation right here. Coach Perillo used to train Robert Emerson when Robert Emerson fought in the UFC. So this is a great little interaction that happened by chance. Coach Perillo, real quick, before you leave, talk to us for 2 seconds about this guy so everybody knows who he is right here. Come over here.
What do you mean?
Tell us about
everybody already knows Robert Emerson.
Everybody knows Rob Emerson.
He fought on The Ultimate Fighter. He fucking, I mean, the guy's been all around the world, man. Emerson, beast. One of my favorite fighters to work with back in the day.
Bear, did you know him and I
could have done
train together
something. We
too?
could have done something right there if it wasn't for the ladies. It's the ladies.
How good was Robert Emerson as a fighter?
If his big head controlled his littler head, Rob would have done something out there in this world. But God bless. God bless, man.
God bless him.
Coach putting him on blast.
Yeah, hey, Coach just told you that, listen, that was like a Disney movie. Like, yo, you had great potential, brother, but keep going. Thanks, Coach Perillo. Way to make the guy's day.
No. Emerson's a beast. He is. Everybody will say it. But me and BJ used to talk about it all the time because he was in camp with us. And we would say, I got to get over here.
In the camera.
Okay, gotcha. Great athlete. I mean, his fighter knows, right? You move around with your coach. Yeah. Sometimes you think, fuck, I don't want to get hit by that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a beast, man. He's definitely a beast. But I mean, I still stand by what I said about the head situation.
But his foot problems.
Yeah, because he could have done something, man. I mean, everybody's got their own little issues. That's why he knows that too. By the way, he's got his life arranged, right? I mean, you're all fucking set up, family, you know what I mean? You're focused on fighting.
Yeah.
Not saying...
Emerson, you could have been a champion, but instead you were chasing girls at Raging Waters.
I think it was the best insurance plan he came in there with. I mean, it was. It was.
Hey, last time at Wild Rivers, you would have been holding the strap, huh? BMF belt.
Had a good time. No regrets, Bear.
I like that.
He could have been a champion, but he was a fuck boy.
So Robert, I know that's exactly what Coach said it. Robert Emerson is from South County. I met him when I was like 13, 14 with Corey DePass and Nick Shea and all these guys. My boy Scott Crawford, all these guys down here in OC, and a legend, local legend. Everybody loved training him. When Coach Perillo heard he was coming today, because they used to train together and he used to train him, he was like, I'm staying the whole time. And then he heard you're coming. He's like, oh, this is fantastic. Because originally Robert called me and said, you're going to miss your flight, but I'm still coming. I said, Robert, wait at the airport. Make sure your guy's going to make the flight and then come. He goes, whether he comes or not, I'm coming. I go, all right. So I told Coach Perillo, Robert's coming either or. So Coach Perillo stayed and waited around.
Yeah.
It's a lot of good energy here at the Jaxxon House.
I want to ask about these broken arms while you fighting. Is it the same arm?
Yeah, it's the same one.
Well,
Yeah.
what was like a hairline fracture while you was fighting? Or was
The second time it was a hairline. The first time it was
a snap?
Roberts. Yeah, snap my shit.
And you can still keep fighting. Like,
The first time I wasn't able to punch with it. The second time I was still able to use it.
what's going through your mind when you know it's fucked up? Did you know it's broken?
Oh yeah, especially when Robert broke it. I knew at the moment he kicked it and he broke it. This last fight against Kyle Bahalio, I knew when I sat down in the middle of the round between the third and fourth round, I sat down, I picked my arm up, looked at it, knowing that okay, something's going on here.
And you still didn't stop. It's crazy.
The fight goes on, right?
You just gotta power through it.
Yeah.
So what happens, because I'm not a fighter, but the audience probably wants to know from this too, because Rampage, you've talked about this before in a fight where your hand and
Yeah, I
this.
broke my fist once before.
Yeah, like what happens? You sit there, you're in the corner, Robert comes over to you, goes, hey, you know, how you feeling? You go, yo, my hand's broken, or do you not tell anybody, or do you not even think about it?
Well, this time I looked at it because I remember last time when it broke against Robert Whitaker.
Okay.
They didn't know.
Oh, got
And
it.
I tried to signal to him. I guess I was so subtle that they didn't pick it up. So I didn't say anything the first time. So this time I looked at it and I sort of signaled to Coach that, you know, the hand is compromised. Coach said, something wrong with your hand. I was like, he said, and Coach like, you know, went on. We're giving instructions in the middle. Okay, well, fuck it, we're gonna keep going. And That's what he said. What goes on through my head is I still want to win. You know, the arm is broke, but that doesn't, you know, it's not changing how I feel that I still want to win. So, you know, you just figure shit out. You got to figure out how to work around it if you can work with it. And hopefully the ref don't notice. And hopefully your opponent don't notice either. So.
Yeah, you want to keep that hidden.
Yeah. I broke my hand in the fight. I finished that fight though.
Who were you fighting when you broke that hand?
I was a light heavyweight. I fought Nick Rourke. Yeah, that was after the Glover fight actually. So I broke that hand in the second round and then finished it in the third round. So I'm proud of myself for that one. I finished. I had to think. Well, what was I going to do? I wanted to hit him with the hand, and ended up hitting him with the elbow. So I made a real quick. I'm proud of myself for making a good adjustment in that one.
Yeah, that happened to me in Japan. I broke this hand. I was fighting this Japanese guy, and I think he's wearing like some red Speedos. I can't remember his name. I think his name was Manua. I could never pronounce the Japanese guy's name. But when I was taping up my hand, and the people, Yukino and Hideki, the same people I can't stand, I always talk about them. They came in and watched me tape up my hand. They're like, "Oh no, you got to take some of that tape off." It was a regular tape job. You know what I'm saying? My coach, Colin Oyama, he was great at taping. He had a great tape. But since I was fighting a Japanese guy, they only let me put like a little tape on there. It was thin. And the first punch I hit him with,
broke it.
I heard it. Hit him right in the forehead. So I couldn't elbow in Japan, so I had to knee him.
Yeah.
I mean, pulling off.
No, it was no elbows it was no elbows from the neck down.
Oh.
I mean, from the neck up. My bad. Yeah.
Pulling off a fight with a broken hand, broken wrist, it's a whole nother level of heart. It's a whole nother level of grit. Talk to me about this lineup. Like Robert just read it right now. We were going to talk about it. UFC must love you. You don't shy away from any fight. You take anything they throw at you. It seems like you fought some of the best fighters the UFC's ever seen, and you have a lineup of them. Some people wish they could get one of those names in their lineup in their career, and you got one name after another. Do you feel accomplished with the way that you've been able to take every fight, take all these names down, you know, take everything that the UFC throws at you?
I wouldn't say I feel accomplished. I would say it's just part of the journey, you know what I mean? There's going to be more names to add to that. So, when I go back and look at my career, I see you see all those big names, and, you know, I didn't win a lot of those fights, you know, so I don't really put too much stock in who I fought. I put more stock in how I performed in those fights. So, and what I learned from them. Like the break against Robert, I feel like was my most traumatic injury I've ever suffered. We've seen guys break the tibias and they arm flop or they legs flopping around. I don't want that to be me.
Yeah. That's a whole nother level break.
I can't even watch those.
Yeah. That's like a whole nother level. And same thing. Continue.
So you know, after going through something like that, I feel like you know, the second break is nothing.
Yeah.
You know.
But the discipline you have during the fight, it's got to come from something. Like, it's got to be inspired by your camp, your team. I understand you're born with that heart and that power, but it seems like you don't lose that. Like, a lot of fighters lose that as they get better. We've talked to a lot of great champions, and their camp didn't inspire that growth. Or didn't consistently make them keep that. It seems like you have a good team around you helping you keep this. Is there something you guys are focused on that's helping you get this career just continuously? It's so smooth, so effortless.
Well, the program.
Oh, got it.
You know, it's however we do when it comes down to fight camps, you know, we make our adjustments. For me personally, I feel like I do the same thing. I just show up. You know, we don't really change our pro practices for anything, and I come every day, 2 times a day.
Wow.
I come 2 times a day too.
Where, here in Jaxxon House? I've seen you train 1 time a day, every day at 5 p.m. right after you eat.
This ain't the only place I train.
Oh, really? Where else you training? I don't even want to say it. Don't even say the name.
No, I don't want to say it because I don't want people to know where I
Yeah, you better not. But you do all your boxing here.
Yeah, I do all my boxing.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
But so you actually lift weights? Hold on, I got to ask you.
I do lift weights.
You do. I was wondering how he was getting so skinny. I told him you better start eating some steak.
I've been seeing you've been going back and forth with what's that fool's name?
Shannon Briggs.
Yeah, man. Are y'all gonna actually fight or what?
Man, we was like trying to get the fight going, but then these promoters in Qatar, man, they was scamming, bro. So nothing ever happened.
I see.
And they still acting like they're gonna put on some shit out there. I don't know who's falling for that shit.
Yeah.
We look out for him over here, though. That's the key, to look out for
But
people.
what were you saying
the pro practice
before he so rudely?
No, I did not interrupt.
Yeah, well, just the program prepares us for if things get hard, it's going to be tough. The sport inherently is hard. The sport inherently is tough. So I've always hoped for easy nights, but they've never come, especially at the top of the rankings. So for me, I've thrown those ideas away, and I've just got, for me, especially recently, I've gotten more ingrained into more of the harder parts of it, performing when it is hard, trying to hit you when it's really hard to get when it's really hard to hit you, not getting wrestled and stuff like that, or wrestling a wrestler even, you know what I mean? For me, that sounds just like the physical aspect. There's also the mental, the intellectual aspects of it as well. So I'm really, what's the word? Not finding acceptance, embodying that part of the sport. It's hard. And I love this. I really like that part because I like the challenge behind it. You know what I mean? I love that. That's one thing I like about training, that it's challenging, especially when I'm going against somebody who's as good as me, maybe even better than, bigger than.
Would you say that MMA is the hardest sport? Because some people are saying boxing is, but I don't. I see boxing it has a they're a lot more. I would say they're a lot more technical than MMA guys because a lot of them they start off doing it young, but now the new up and coming MMA guys start really young. Yeah,
I would liken MMA to it's just a different challenge. Whereas in boxing, like if an MMA guy were to go over to boxing, they would feel either I only have so much to worry about, or I only have so much that I can use. You know what I mean? I think boxers know that you only have this to use, and I think that's the thing that boxers really appreciate about their sport. And in contrast to other sports, especially MMA, we only have our hands and our brains to work with. Whereas in MMA, you have, you can fight with your balls. You can go in there and have a gutty performance and make it. I don't mean literally.
Oh, okay. You confused me. No, you confused me for a second. I ain't fighting with those.
Rampage, you fight with your balls. Rampage, you fight with your balls.
I protect those at all times.
Yeah, I like that.
Well, when you're married, you're fighting with your balls.
It makes sense. So what you're saying, like the aspect of the conditioning and the cardio and the multiple disciplines of martial art and MMA
is a different
stacked,
challenge.
And then boxing is a different cardio, different conditioning.
Yeah.
But we talked about this one time with Sugar Shane. With Shane Mosley. And he talked about how he helped MMA fighters, or he's seen them train, and the boxing cardio and the discipline of boxing is just a completely different animal.
It is different.
You can't compare them because one stacks multiple levels, multiple time differences. You can lay down, get up, go sit down. Like, it's just different ways of how he looked at it. He explained it obviously a lot more effortlessly than I am right now.
Yeah. But you can't compare the two, but I tell you this right now. You can't find a boxer that be like, oh yeah, you guys take knees to the face. You get kicked in the head. You get elbowed, but boxing is harder. No, MMA is harder.
Yeah, MMA is definitely a harder sport.
It's harder sport.
It's definitely more grueling on your body with the multiple disciplines, right? You have wrestling, you have kicking, and it was I'll start over him talking about kicking, how like it could destroy your whole body from camp by the time you get there if you're fighting a really good kicker, because you're just getting destroyed and your body's not really meant to have that tissue build up, because it eventually builds up so much that when you get hit, it's going to go out. It doesn't strengthen.
Yeah, but you do see more brain damage in boxing than MMA though.
Yeah,
true.
Because they only have so much you can target.
Yeah.
Whereas you can get wrestled and get choked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Talk to me about the lab. I'm really interested in this gym, this performance team that you guys have over there with your coach, like Emerson. He's obviously a good friend of ours, but it seems like you guys are producing a lot of talent. Seems like you guys have a really good regiment, good routine. And right now we're seeing gyms like Extreme Couture. We're seeing, a bunch of fighters like the Iridium guys, Diego Lopez, have their own little section. We see the UFC PI. Kind of break down what makes the lab so special.
I think what makes the lab so special is that a lot of the talent that everybody's taking note of have been there from longer than I have. You know what I mean? I came in as a UFC fighter. A lot of these guys came in from amateurs, you know what I mean? From regional shows and stuff like that, who are, who have, what's the word? Who have been at the lab longer than I have, you know what I mean? Or just as long as I have, but have, anyway.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. You're saying people that are built from the bottom up there at the lab, kind of ground up,
from the bottom up,
building their own
exactly
team.
It's
a farm, and they're kind of raising it.
Yeah,
I get it.
And a lot of them, the lab is their first gym. Whereas for me, I came from, gyms in Alaska. There's a few gyms that I trained at up there. So, yeah, me being in the UFC, it's easy to get my name out there. It's easy to be popular, even though I'm not in it for the fame. I don't really like being famous. You know what I mean? But
very low key, very humble. Yeah.
But my work is why I'm in this position. The work that I put in, my
you give them work.
Yeah, my ability to perform and go out there and do the things that I do. But the guys that are coming up now, you know, like you said, from the bottom up, you know what I mean? So I can't. Yeah. I mean, I can't.
It's a
even put
unique
into words
situation. What you're saying right now, so for the people at home who don't understand, he's finding a little difficulty on how to say, is because the concept of all the gyms right now is they're getting a lot of fighters that are already good, throwing them into one gym, but you're being polite about it, and I'll just kind of say it for you. And then they're not building the talent. They don't have a guy like Emerson running 4 classes a day and making sure the guys are hitting every aspect of their discipline and growing the talent through a feeder series or UFC Fight Pass and then hitting the UFC. And what the lab is so special, and what I've loved about it, watching over the years, like I said, from Robert's Instagram and everything you guys have done, a lot of homegrown talent, people that are kind of being incubated there like a bunch of little Wolverines. Yeah. And then they turn out and they're ready to show out. Yeah. And it's cool. It's cool that you have the respect there. But the other thing that makes the lab so cool, I think, is the aspect that the fighters aren't leaving. We see so many fighters get big, they grow, they win, and then they're gone. Yeah. I feel like you talked about a lot of that, right? Growing up out here in OC, like, when you were training, like fighters would go here and then go to that gym, then kind of just leave?
Yeah, it's all different types of reasons and stuff like that. Some for people not to stay at a gym, stuff like that. And you know, like a lot of fighters don't last in MMA as well. Like some just don't make it. It's all different type of reasons. Yeah. We have a team, more of a team atmosphere, you know what I mean? Team, brotherhood, sisterhood, fraternity, family. So guys aren't more inclined to get up and leave once things change. Now life happens, and not everybody is from Phoenix, Arizona. So that's that. But I think that the fact, for me, I feel like I'm contributing to the team as well as the team contributes to me in a very profound way, because I love what I do. I love martial arts. It's a huge part of my life. And anybody who can contribute to that, I have a great, profound appreciation for. That's why we call our teammates brothers and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So
you can tell it's definitely real and authentic.
Yes.
I mean, it's a community, you know, to give, you got to get, and vice versa. And it continues to grow.
And we're professionals at the same time. And you want to keep the two separate, the personal and professional, but it's a business at the same time as well. Yeah. So for me, I can mix it all, but you know, I know how to move.
Do you train with Joe Riggs over there?
Yeah, I do.
You spar with him?
No, I haven't sparred with him.
Oh, what? He's a great sparring
But he's held for me. He holds pads really well.
Yeah.
So
he helped me win a lot of fights.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
I would like to spar with him, man.
He's good, man.
Yeah, Joe's real good. Hell
yeah. No fear. He's always one of my smallest sparring partners. And he's good at.
Joe's bone density is like anything else I've ever felt.
Oh yeah.
Knuckles, like, what's up, dude? Gnarly bone density.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah,
he makes Jared so dangerous because he came from heavyweight, right? Your bones don't lose that density from carrying the heavy frame.
Oh.
And you feel it.
Oh yeah, because he used to be big.
Yeah.
Yeah, he used to be a big guy.
Out of all your wins, what do you think is your most special one so far?
Anderson fight.
Really?
Yeah.
Anderson Silva.
Yeah.
How did it feel fighting Anderson Silva? He's the GOAT.
I made it feel like fighting anybody else.
Really?
You know what I mean? But that was the most successful performance. That was no disrespect to the GOAT. Yeah. But for me, that was the easiest performance I've had in my career.
Oh,
you wow. Know what I
mean? Oh, no. Come on. Come on. That's Anderson Silva.
Oh, my God.
A little bit more profound. You're so good with your words. And on this guy, you hit him with the easy.
Go back and look to the... I'm not saying he was easy. I'm not saying he was the easiest opponent.
No.
But that was the easiest performance I've ever had. Because...
you mean the most flawless?
The flawless performance. Yeah, the smoothest.
Please don't use the word easy and Anderson Silva in the same sentence. That's my hero. You got me great. Hey, Rampage, what are we going to do?
Let him talk.
Let him talk. Let him do his thing. You know what? You do your thing.
Yeah,
that again, it being Anderson was one of the reasons why it was one of my most special victories.
Yeah.
Everything, you know, being in Rio is a paradise. Yeah. You know what I mean? The beach was nice. Everything. The only thing that went wrong during the camp was I popped my rib out. I did everybody knows who does jiu-jitsu pops a rib out every now and then. I popped my rib out like 9 days before the fight. So But to be honest, the whole fight week, I didn't even think about it. So I did it that Thursday, and then we flew out Tuesday and handled business. So
You didn't put it back in before the fight, though?
You know, I think it's called costal cartilage separation. It didn't pop out. Yeah. It's a costal cartilage separation is what it's called. And that's when the rib head separates from the cartilage.
Yeah.
And if it pops out, then you got to get somebody to pop it in. I say pop out, but you know what I mean? It has the separation.
Yeah, mine do that in the back.
In the back.
From what?
I should hate that
From
shit.
doing jiu-jitsu and wrestling and stuff. You just got to.
When your torso, you got to keep your torso, it's mobility.
Yeah, you got to put it back in there.
Because even Leo Vera from Checkmate was here earlier with Jansen. How do a lot of these jiu-jitsu, these grapplers, because even Luke had that happen to him before CGI.
No. You blew Luke's back out.
Dog, we having an intelligent conversation. You want to talk about me blowing Luke's back out live on camera?
Sorry.
You out your mind?
You did, dude.
I did
Luke
not.
He injured Luke.
Luke Rockhold trains here every day. He blew his back out before CGI. That's why he went there and he couldn't do much. That's why he slapped Mighty Mouse hand. But back to the subject. Is it stretching? Is it what can cause that to not happen? Like, how can you alleviate that happening? Because we hear every fighter have this before fights.
I wish I can give you a medical, you know what I mean, a good answer.
It's just so
don't answer that because he's trying to do. You know, Anderson Silva, him, they really close, and that's like his hero. So he's trying to change the subject of you talking about your win over him.
That one hurt me. That one hurt me.
Yeah. So go back to saying what
hold on. No, we're gonna talk about Anderson. Let's talk about Anderson,
bro.
Let's talk about Anderson fighting him in Brazil.
Yeah,
just put me into context for the audience so they understand what it's like.
Or anybody who knows. Fighting a Brazilian legend in Brazil, you already know what to expect. The crowd is going to be against you. So that's what it was when I walked out. And that's definitely what it was after I won. So, but, you know, water off of a duck's back. You know what I mean? They can. Your hero went down in 11 kicks. It only took exactly 11 kicks to be down.
This is outrageous.
What did he say?
He said my hero went down with 11 kicks.
If you go back and watch the fight, you'll hear my corner, Eddie, calling out each kick. It was like 1, 2, and I think that was a real surreal part of the fight for me because I could hear it, and I guess it was giving me more energy. You know what I mean? Sort of motivating me more.
Every time you kicked,
every time I landed a kick, he would count it like 1. He would say it real loud, and I could hear him. I was like 2, and when he got to 11, he didn't say 11, but the 11th kick is the one that broke the spider's leg.
Oh.
Sorry.
Oh, do you feel like he maybe overlooked you or underestimated you a little bit, or what?
No, I don't. I mean,
you're coming into the prime.
Slow.
He's going out, but he's still so deadly and lethal. It was still an incredible fight. He's still doing his thing. They meet in the middle, and this guy just puts on a performance of his life. One thing you have to understand that the audience doesn't get. I understand this. You guys get this. Me as a fan get this. Don't matter who you're fighting. Don't matter what age they are. If they step in that cage in the UFC, they're one of the baddest dudes on the planet. If they were not one of the baddest dudes on the planet, Dana White, Hunter, they would not be booking them for fights. So you go in there, you're facing life or death. It don't matter who you're fighting. We all know that as fans, the real fans. You know, so we there's no excuse saying, oh, he may be a little bit older, but I'm just saying at that point.
Wait, no, but why you had to even bring that up though?
That's my dog. So that was the first guy I ever worked with when I was like 19 years old. He gave me my start. Yeah. Him and Rampage were the first guys that let me make merch for them. That's how I got involved with MMA, and I fell in love with the whole sport back then. But he, over the years, his kids train here every day. They're right here. They're outside.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we're gonna have them come in here and take family photos. We're all gonna.
No, they.
That's why he does live here. Doesn't he?
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Anderson live in Orange County.
He lives in LA, but like close.
How come he never comes to Jaxxon house then? What happened? What happened? Come on, what's up?
Well, there's other people, you know, there's things, we have a lot of, you know, we keep the training separate, you know, with the kids train here. We don't want him to be here and overshadow the kids. He's a legend. Gabriel and Khalil are building their careers right now. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What? You got something to say? Get it off your chest.
I'm just noticing like the shade you throwing at. I guess
I would never throw shade. How much respect I have for him? I told him if you miss your flight, hey, I put this on everything. You can ask them. I said, if you missed the flight, here's the phone number. Get the private jet.
No. I'm talking about now since he mentioned beating Anderson
This is one of the baddest dudes in the UFC. Put respect on our guest name.
No, that's what I'm telling you.
That's what I'm telling you. Who you're talking to? Have you ever given a thought about fighting at 205 again?
I've given a thought to it. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think?
Probably, if not on my way out of the UFC to merge belts to become a double champ.
Well, how many more years do you think you got in the UFC?
I have not put any. I don't see an end in sight right now.
No way.
So I told myself I'm going to go as long as my body is good to go.
How do you feel right now?
And I feel great. You know what I mean? To be honest, I've told myself that I just had this thought in my mind. But yeah, as long as my body feels good, as long as I'm capable. Oh, that's what I was going to say, that I don't really fight or train to fight. I fight as a part of my training. So fighting for me is like, okay, I've done all this training. I've gotten this good. Now I'm going to go have a fight to test myself. I'm glad that I can do it in the UFC at the highest level against the best in the world and get paid a good penny doing it. I'm going to try to do that as long as possible. As long as I'm training, I'm going to be wanting to test myself. So if it's going to be in the UFC, you may see me with a silver freaking silver fro, a gray ass beard chiseled to the fucking bone, fighting in the UFC. So
I like
long
that.
as but I'm just taking care of my body as best as I can and trying not to get injured in these fights.
Mindset, focused.
Yeah, that's smart. I wish I would have, focused on that a little bit more. I don't know what I was thinking. I don't have. I'll be honest. I don't have the discipline.
Yeah,
but you did it all, right? Is that why you felt like you did it all? There was nothing left for you to do.
You have the same problem I have, to be honest.
What?
Robert,
no, I'm not a fuckboy. I'm not a fuckboy like that.
No, Robert, come on.
Discipline was a hard one for you. How did you make it to a UFC title?
When it's training camp, that's when I would just listen to my coaches. I throw everything away. But outside of training camp, I wouldn't train and stuff that much no more. In the beginning of my career, I would take a week off and be back in the gym. But then once I started getting these little injuries and stuff like that, I hated the gym. I hated it, and so I wasn't disciplined enough to outside of training camp. And I wouldn't be disciplined enough to get up in the morning and go for a run or go to the gym and stuff. I had started doing the same thing I saw Tito Ortiz doing it and Rico Rodriguez. They would only train for the training camps, and I started doing that, and I think that was the downfall.
Okay,
I should have stayed in the gym and been disciplined.
But how hard is it? I don't think I've ever even asked you this question. How hard was it for you? Because when I met you, you had all the money, all the girls, you had the belts, you were on top of the world. How hard is it for you to still wake up in the morning, like we see that with McGregor right now, to say, hey, I want to go train? Like you already did it all.
For me, none of that stuff was really, they didn't really bother me and stuff like that. I never really cared about money. I'm a big kid. I like toys and stuff. That was always fun and stuff like that. But, honestly, I had managers ripping me off left and right, and I took care of my family and stuff back home. I never cared about that part, but it was the me getting up in the morning and be like, oh man, if I go to the gym, this elbow's gonna bother me, this knee gonna bother me, and stuff like that. And I talked myself out of going to the gym. But then when I had a fight, I was like, you know what? I gotta fight. I gotta train. I gotta fight. I don't care about that. I don't care about that injury. That's what the problem was. I should have just sucked it up, quit being a little bitch, and went to the gym at least 3 times a week outside of training camp.
I know exactly what you mean, because I don't like training injured. I don't like training compromised. You know what I mean? I'll fight easily. Break my arm, we're gonna still fight. You know what I mean? You cut my head off, if I can, I'm gonna still be swinging and shit. But I know exactly what you mean. It's real easy to just, for me, to sit up and turn the PlayStation on and go smoke a bowl and grab something to eat, and you know what I mean?
Yeah, and plus when you're training at the gym and you got a little problem, you hurt here and there. You know how guys are at the gym. Some of the guys, especially the ones you're not close to, that if you give them an inch, they'll take a mile. So they want to post about it. They want to tweet about it. Like I've been going to certain gyms, like Antonio McKee's gym, stuff like that, and I'd be rolling around with people off season. I'm not in the greatest shape or have a little injury, and I next I'm rolling with somebody and I see him, he passed his phone to his friend to videotape it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's stuff like that bothers me. You know what I'm saying? They're going to post it, and if they get you with a submission or they get you with something good, if you fight in the UFC, they're going to be bragging about it, and this is something that I wouldn't do. Yeah. And so I just didn't like that type.
We saw Stipe's gym has a sign, no phones, and he talked about that when he was here. What about the lab? You guys allow phones there? People can videotape each other while they train and spar?
Well, I haven't seen a no phone policy.
Oh, got it.
But if I see somebody filming during a time where I feel like nobody should be filming, I will definitely say something to somebody.
Oh, wow.
But usually we have our guys filming their own rounds in there. Yeah. Nobody's sitting on the outside filming. If somebody's doing that, no. We don't allow that.
The pros practice in a separate room?
And now the pros practice in a separate room. Oh, because the pro practice room was in the main building. Yeah. But pro practice isn't when there's a lot of traffic in there. But some of the non-pros or aspirants, I call them, people who aspire to be big-time fighters, may come in there, may want a picture or something like that. But a lot of time, most of the time, I haven't had any problems with anybody who trains there. They're always respectful. They'll always ask. They never just record and then ask. Yeah. You know what I mean? So
you train with Shane O'Malley? He trained there?
Sean?
I mean, Sean?
What's his name?
Sean O'Malley.
Sean?
Oh, my bad. Yeah. Sean O'Malley.
He doesn't spend too much time at the lab. Like his last camp, he did his last camp at Red Hawk with Tim Welsh. So that's where he does a lot of his training in. But I think he comes in sometimes. I don't know. I haven't seen him in a month.
You want to train with him?
No, he's too small. But I thought that was his gym. I thought that
he started. Yeah, he started at the lab,
okay.
and then him and Tim opened up their own gym
called Red Cock.
Yeah,
What's it called?
Red Hawk.
What is it called?
Red Hawk.
Red Hawk.
Red Hawk.
Oh, Red Hawk.
Yeah.
Red Hawk.
Yeah.
What did you say?
He said Red Hawk.
Oh, Hawk.
Yeah.
Hawk. Okay, I was just making sure because he'd be mispronouncing names.
Nah, I'm bad with names.
Hey, as we're getting close to wrapping this up, first of all, I want to say thank you for coming on here. I know you had to make the flight this morning. Probably was a little bit difficult traveling with Robert. I was getting 30 phone calls. You guys were going to miss a flight. I go, brother, you got to figure this out. I go, here's the phone number to the private jet if you miss it, though. So I was offering that. The keyboards I've been banging to have you on. You are the most banged about on the keyboard. They want to know who you are, what about you. They want to hear from you. Our Jaxxon Podcast Discord has been going nuts.
They got one question from the Discord.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to cut you off.
Go ahead, say it. I was going to say it. Say it.
No.
Say it.
Okay, they know I don't ask a lot of questions from Discord, and they knew Bear wasn't going to ask you. It's a lot of people want to know how many of the white fans have called you John Jones.
None. If anything, they'll call me Kevin Hart. I've been called Kevin. I look like Kevin Hart, big brother, or something like that.
Oh damn!
So
okay.
You kind of look like Rampage a little bit.
Now you got me fucked up. We don't look nothing.
Both
like.
have beards. What?
All black folks look like to you?
No, I just say you both have beards.
Hey, he probably the one who wrote.
He got full of beard to me.
Yeah, I got a full of beard.
Let me see yours.
You probably one that wrote that question in the
No.
Discord.
No, I just no.
He's probably one that
No, I just found it and I gave it to you.
All
what
right.
do you mean? All right. So one of the things I want to know is who is one of the hardest opponents you had to train for so far in your career?
The hardest opponents I had to train for? I would say Jack Hermanson.
Really?
Yeah.
Out of your entire list?
Yes.
That's crazy. Why is that? I would have never guessed that one.
Because I was early in my career, early in my wrestling development, and he was definitely a big time grappler. Expected him to try to grapple me, and Trace I can't say his last name, but Trace, you know who you are.
Yeah.
Was a really good wrestler. Was one of my main training partners for that, and I learned a lot about wrestling in that one.
Damn. One thing where you brought up Tim's name, I actually want to ask both of you guys a question. We saw Tim get into some issues with the Aljo fight by yelling from the coach's corner a little bit, and Aljo thought he was like counter coaching or something. No one really talked about it. And then we saw him fight Merab. Merab wins, and we saw right when the fight starts, we see some interaction between Merab and Tim again. Do you feel like the coaches should be able to interact with the fighters, or do you feel like that was just a bunch of BS?
I don't think coaches should be able to interact with opponents.
Really?
No. But I don't really see why.
But was he actually interacting with the opponent, or was he just talking? Do you know?
I don't know what he was saying.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think, like, if Rob was trying to interact with I don't know.
Yeah.
Because now that I say it out loud, it don't really sound like it's that big of an issue, because the fighters are supposed to be intensely focused on themselves. But corners are factors in the fights. So there is a level of, what's the word?
The lines are a little blurred here.
Yes. I don't think fighters should try to interject in the fight. Right? Corners should only corner the cornerman. They shouldn't
So no counter coaching.
no counter coaching. I don't think that should be as far as it being a professional setting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What about you?
As far as it being a professional setting, yes. Now corners are getting paid too, yeah.
What about you?
They're not getting
Any
paid from
thoughts
the
on that?
UFC, but
Same. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Because like in basketball or football, a fan can interact and say whatever they want.
well, you got fans interacting anyway,
Same-
right?
same concept,
Move
right?
Muhay and
Yeah.
all that bullshit, right?
Yeah, but that's a fan. I agree with what he said, but me as a fighter, I don't know if that would affect me in the UFC, but in Pride, where it's quiet and you can hear everything, it probably would have bothered me because it's different. Because you can hear your corner man. Like when I was fighting in Japan, they don't have to yell or nothing. They could just talk like we talking right now.
Yeah.
And you can hear everything they say. But in the UFC, when it's like so much energy, so much atmosphere, I don't know. You think it would have bothered you? Would you be able to hear his corner man?
No, I'm able to focus. And I don't let outside things really bother me too much. I think it'd probably be funny if they were trying. If anything, it'll motivate me to beat the shit out of the guy even more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just to show you, don't mess with me. Because I know you're trying to mess with me now.
Yeah, I think they felt like it helped them with Aljo because he was telling Aljo, and then Aljo kind of listened.
And yeah, it's a big ass arena, but if you hear Tim Welsh's voice around a bunch of people who can sound like Tim Welsh, maybe his corner. I'm sure Tim Welsh doesn't sound like Ray Longo or Matt Serra telling him, Ray Joe, what did he say? Aljo, you got to go?
Yeah, Aljo, you got to go.
I can see how that, especially amongst a whole bunch of people screaming and shit.
Yeah.
In the Apex, it's quieter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I see where you're going with that.
Yeah.
Comparison to Pride. Yeah. But it's a professional setting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And what are we here to do? We're here to make my guy win. And some people say if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
It's a bit cheap though.
It's cheap. I would say it like that. I wouldn't say that it's
not cheating.
Egregious.
It's
but
not
it's
cheating,
definitely cheap.
but it's definitely cheap. But it's not cheating. But also too, if Tim looked at the rules and Herb Dean let it slide, or someone let it slide in the first fight, and then the second fight, why wouldn't he do it again? It helped them in the first fight. Like I'm sure Aljo's pissed, right? Probably didn't deserve it, but it's the same thing.
Maybe it's at the discretion of the referee.
Yeah,
but I'm sure Aljo he didn't complain about it though,
because if the commission ain't saying nothing to him, right? Because the commission will say something if you stand up.
Yeah.
So if the commission ain't saying nothing to him and the ref got to say something to him, what are we doing here?
Yeah, you can't stand up and you can't bang.
You can't bang on the thing. The commission will stop you from that. And if you're doing that, anyway.
Yeah. So it's interesting. Yeah, it's a different point of view. I just thought I would kind of mix that up. I haven't heard anybody's thought on that week.
Do you know that guy? You know that guy, that Tim guy?
Yeah.
What's his name? Tim Welsh?
Tim Welsh.
We FaceTimed him, remember?
I liked him. Tim's a good guy.
like him?
I liked him, yeah.
Oh yeah, I thought he was Canelo at first.
I know. We FaceTimed him in
He
Rampage.
gets confused with Canelo.
When we FaceTimed him.
And you don't get confused with John Jones.
No, I'm nowhere near as tall as John Jones. So.
Yeah.
What are you, like 6'5"?
He's like, who, me?
Yeah.
What, am I 6'5"? Oh, shit, thank you, man. I appreciate that.
How
I'm
tall
like
are you?
5'11".
No, I'm 5'11".
On paper, I'm 5'11".
I'm like 5'11".
You're 5'11"?
Yeah.
We'll see.
What are you?
I'm 6'1". 6'1".
What? Yeah.
6'1".
In the Prada boots, he's like 6'4".
Oh,
all right,
and I'm wearing these thick ass shoes.
What kicks you got on?
he got the Rock UFC joints on. He got the Rock UFC.
You got those
free
from
99s.
You got those from Dwayne Johnson?
No, hell no, man. You know the UFC gives us this shit in the fight kit.
Have you ever met The Rock?
No.
He never come to any of the fights?
Hell no. Not to me.
Hell no. Hey, last thing I got for you. You fought the who's who of the middleweight division. Is there someone you still want on your list?
No. I've never really had I want to fight this guy.
Got it.
Sort of thought in my head, I'll fight whoever. I'll fight them all. I'm going to get paid if I fight any of them. If I were to be, I can't think of the word, but anyway, give me, never mind.
Just say the name. I know you want to say. Go ahead.
Give me the can. Give me a can. I'll take a can. Because I'm getting tired of losing right now.
You're like, yo, give me someone I can just smash for
cans,
the UFC.
Right?
They ain't got no cans. I feel like everybody they got is good right now. I feel like the roster's crazy deep.
Yeah.
I feel like we're seeing fights left and right that are battles. I mean, your last fight with Kyle was insane.
Yeah.
One of the best fights of the year I've watched. Like, no lie.
Yeah.
So I don't think
but honestly, I don't care who I get.
Yeah.
I'm going to prepare for whoever. Whoever I get is going to definitely help me become better.
Yeah.
The camp is going to help me become better. The team is going to help me become better. Yeah. And I'm going to do what I have to do to get that win. So
I love it. And one more thing, I'm just going to throw this in there real quick. Rampage, you were talking about DDP, Sean Strickland, their style in fighting. It's a little awkward, but it's effective. What do you think of DDP's rise, and what do you think of his style, as the way he fights?
I don't even know what to think about his rise. It's kind of weird. A lot of people rise faster than others. I guess it's an energy thing. You know what I mean? It's I think it's a lot of a social energy that the UFC plays on. You know what I mean? So they'll promote things that their production machine, I guess whoever, their PR machine think the people are going to eat up more. So Sean saying crazy shit and then winning fights, that's promotable right there. DDP, woo! Every time something exciting happens, getting the crowd excited, that's what they want. They want you to get the crowd excited. So to put it in plainly, that's what they want. So if you get the crowd excited, then you can rise real quickly in the UFC.
What's your thing to get the crowd excited?
I don't do anything to get the crowd excited.
Why?
I'm not here to get the crowd excited. You know what I mean?
That's how you get the big payday.
That's how you get it, but that's not who I am. You know what I mean? I'm here to fight.
Yeah.
I didn't join the UFC so I can paint my face, color my hair, put on big ass floppy shoes, and walk around honking and juggling for these people.
This ain't no circus for him.
You know, because sorry, I'm spitting over here.
You spin on your side.
Yeah, you're fine.
Because
I didn't
the fact
get
of the
nothing.
matter is, of the billions of people on the face of this planet, the intelligence level of a vast majority of them do not deserve my direct attention for me to try to do something for you. You know what I mean? Because some of y'all are just some disingenuous, shitty ass people. I wouldn't want to have anything to do with you. You know what I mean? So I'm not here for the fans. I'm not here for the crowd. I'm here because I signed a contract with the UFC. I'm here to perform the best of my ability. Now, they can do what they want to do for the fans, for the crowd. They do a damn good job, and that's why they are who they are. And I'm glad to be able to help them in that regard, but I'm not going to do any of that extra stuff because that's outside of who I am. And I'm just a 40-year-old man. I can't be painting my hair and twerking on
I understand.
camera.
You have to be yourself because the fans will see you right through that anyway.
And it's a different time we're living in. You know what I mean? There's a lot going on I was born before the internet. You know what I mean? I grew up before the internet. It's a whole different way of life. It's a part. I would say it's a part of human evolution at this point. You know what I mean? Because a lot of our lives go through the internet. You know what I mean? So I'm just not used to it. It's not who I am. It's not who I grew up to be. It's not the energy that was injected into me that was impressed onto me as a young man. So as a young boy.
You got to respect that. You didn't grow up watching pro wrestling or nothing like that. Huh?
Well, yeah, I watched WWF.
You liked it?
Yeah, I watched when they had the monster trucks on before the wrestling events. Yeah. And we didn't pay for the pay-per-views because, we was poor. But hell yeah, I watched some shits. Who was my favorite? Stone Cold Steve Austin. That was back in the Attitude Era. Yeah. But the Bushwhackers.
Oh yeah. You know who Bear's favorite was?
Who?
Gold Dust.
I knew that was coming.
I should have known.
I knew that was you were waiting to he was waiting to let you finish so he could fire that off on me. I went the whole podcast without making fun of you.
You was making fun of me.
What? I did not. None of this. And I want to say something about what you just said, though. For the audience watching, one of the most authentic one-liners I've heard from any fighter who sat on this podcast, and we've had over 150 episodes in the last year. We're only been doing this for a year. What you're saying is what probably most of these kids and young America needs right now, which is you don't have to impress people to be yourself. You don't have to impress people to be a winner, someone who could provide for your family, for your kids, set the standard of what it means to be a man in the house. I think that's like one of the coolest things because so many people at your age and in your position could easily just turn it on and probably get a few more bucks, but you're just setting the standard. And it's like it's a great discipline to have because you're becoming a beacon, a north light for these younger fighters. So we salute you on that.
No, I'm not saying anything against anybody who does run that route. You know what I mean? No judgments to anybody. You guys do what you want to do. As long as you ain't hurting nobody or hurting or spreading any sort of bullshit to my children. If that's what you're doing, then get the hell out of here with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or hide it somewhere better.
Yeah. I respect exactly what he's saying, but the way I look at things is different. When I came into the sport, I did have like a big pro wrestling background mentally and stuff like that. And I honestly, I'm a realist. I knew I wasn't going to be the best fighter in the world because I was learning on the job. It was on the job training. But then now you see people like Conor McGregor and you see all these guys turning big stars by having like a big personality. And then now UFC merged with WWE.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, my common sense.
That's the way to go.
Telling me like.
If you want to make the most, and I understand that. I'm not stupid. I'm not saying I can't. I mean, I probably could.
Yeah.
And but I don't want to put my time and energy into that.
Yeah.
You know, I figured life
That's
is
respect.
Life is worth the things that I want in life. Don't rely.
And also to touch on that, I got a very special gift for you, for me and Rampage, for making it. This is our brand new Jaxxon JX1. It's our new watch. It's the most complete watch for a man. It's got our sapphire, scratch-proof crystal. It's got the Japanese movement. It's got our brand new X class. It's got a Japanese movement, which makes it like a full luxury movement. You're wearing something of the highest level of quality with the illustrious lume dial. We had over a year of design going into this with all of our athletes here, some of our world champions, people from baseball, basketball, Ellie De La Cruz, OBJ, Rampage, Ryan Sheckler, Twitch, to kind of create this. So we definitely wanted you to be one of the first guys to get this. And this is the brand new JX1. It comes in gold with the black face. Rampage, what do you got? You got the silver one?
I got the silver one, but I kind of wanted the gold one.
Here, you can have it. No, you cannot have nothing. No, hey, but one thing you don't ever touch
Don't
upon.
give it to him because he'll keep.
Yeah, he's crazy. Hey, but you don't touch upon the fact that when you did it, you were doing it before anybody. So you were kind of like a pioneer. No, don't even let him see. He's gonna get his. What were you eating before you came here? Kit Kats. Don't get.
I fast. I didn't eat anything.
I want all the Dorito chips, whatever Frito chips. I don't want all those fingerprints on this.
Give him the thing.
Yeah, let me give him this. It has like a watch stand in the box, so it comes complete. Rock that when you walk into a press conference.
Oh man,
it's classy, it's luxury. A little something like for coming on here and kind of
nice.
speaking your truth. It's amazing to sit down with people who don't have to put on a show, and we can kind of just sit here and chit chat.
Is this gold? Actual gold?
Yeah. So
this is my very first gold watch I've ever had.
It's gonna be an incredible piece on you.
No.
And we just
I've had some watches before, but
the brand new 8mm Cuban link chain, the one you wear too. We got them in gold.
Thank you.
So hey, we appreciate you coming on, Robert Emerson. Thank you for flying out here. Shout out to the lab. Shout out to everything you guys are doing. I think it's an incredible career you've had, and it's not over yet. So we can't wait to watch more fights. We also have another guest in the back, Corey DePass. Thanks for sitting here through the whole time. Rampage, it's good to have you here on time and excited and energized. Obviously, the blue chews are paying off. So the more you take, the harder you get, and you perform, and you really just crush these episodes. Listen, I'm Bear Degidio. Thank you guys for watching. Rampage Jaxxon, one of the best in the UFC right now. Killer Gorilla, Robert Emerson in the back. And make sure you guys leave a comment, subscribe, try to figure out how many blue chews Rampage takes before he goes out.
I don't take no damn blue chews.